ever thought about starting your own podcast? When I was trying to get this podcast off the ground, I had a lot of questions. How do I record an episode? How do I get my show into all the apps people like to listen to? How do I make money from my podcast? The answer to every one of these questions is really simple. Anchor. Anchor is a one-stop shop for recording, hosting, and distributing your podcast. Best of all, it's 100% free and ridiculously easy to use. And now, Anchor can match you with great sponsors who want to advertise on your podcast. That means you can get paid to podcast right away. In fact, that's what I'm doing right now by reading you this ad. I enjoy using Anchor to give great, fun, bizarre news to all of you lovely folks out there. And I just love the fact that it's easy to use. I just hit the record button, I edit my clip, and I send it, and I'm done. So if you've always wanted to start a podcast making money doing it, go to anchor.fm/start to join me and the diverse community of podcasters already using Anchor. That's anchor.fm/start. I can't wait to hear your podcast. Hello, this is Jessica Grabbit, and welcome to episode 5, the metoo edition of Bizarre Sex News. This episode, I will concentrate on one of the top 10 things better than sex, and that is revenge. Before we get started with this episode, I want to go ahead and give a full disclaimer about it. Some of these news stories may be triggering for victims of sexual assault or sexual abuse. We do not condone any attack on anyone. If you or anyone you know has been raped, they should seek immediate help. Chiomara. The OG. Chiomara was a Galatian, which is where Turkey is now. Let's go to circa 189 BC, when her people suffered a defeat. The Roman officer who was put in charge of her made several sexual advances until ultimately he raped her. When she was inevitably rescued by her people, she demanded her rapist's head. And she got exactly what she wanted. And it was presented to her husband, declaring, "Only one man who has lain with me shall remain alive," according to the ancient Greek historian Plutarch. Sonnet Ehlers. The first such devices were the chastity belts of the 15th century. Although a number of devices have been proposed, none of them are in commercial production as of 2017. Though not a victim of rape herself, she is an innovator when it comes to seeking out revenge on rapists. She developed the rape axe. This is a device that is worn like a female condom and features teeth like thorns within the interior so as to decimate any unwanted penis that enters. The best part is, it can only be removed surgically. There's no way to talk your way out of that one. You'd be caught red-handed or trapped penis. The rape axe was unveiled on August 31st, 2005 in South Africa. There have been objections to Ehlers' invention, describing it as vengeful, horrible, and even disturbing, and its planned sale in pharmacies has been opposed. Concerns were raised that the use of the device could possibly enrage an attacker and further jeopardize the victim. Ehlers responded saying that many women have been killed over time, as nobody can guarantee the outcome of any rape, and that the pain caused by rape acts will temporarily disable the attacker, giving the victim time to get away. Although media coverage at the time implied that mass production was due to begin in April of 2007, the device has never been marketed to the public, and it remains unclear whether the product will ever be for purchase. In the UK, a 41-year-old antique dealer lured a man into her home, drugged his coffee, and then had her 19-year-old son tie the man down while she beat him with a baseball bat, according to kentonline.co.uk. She threatened to tattoo the word rapist on his penis and then proceeded to do just that. During Clark's prosecution for the injuries, Clark denied that she inflicted the tattoo but added, "If I did it, I did it." Policewoman escapes knife-wielding man by biting his genitals during rape and barricading herself for hours. This was posted at 9:40 p.m. September 11th of 2018 by the Tribune Media Wire for West Wallago, Louisiana. Police say a 50-year-old woman spent the night fending off a man who attempted to stab her after she bit his penis while he was allegedly forcing her to have oral sex with him. The victim met 54-year-old John Wesley Patton on the dating app Plenty of Fish, according to the Westwego Police Department. Patton met the victim, who had been chatting with him on the app for about a week, at a daiquiri shop on September 7th. The victim agreed to go with Patton back to his Westwego home around 9:45, and that's where the trouble began. Patton told the victim to go to a bedroom at the end of a hall to meet his sister, but the victim became suspicious when she realized no one else was in the home, according to WPD. When the victim turned around to confront Patton, he allegedly clamped his hand around her mouth and forced her into the bedroom. Once inside the bedroom, Patton indicated that he wanted to have sex, and the victim agreed out of fear for her safety, police said, but Patton was unable to perform, so he asked her to perform oral sex on him. While performing oral sex on Patton, the victim bit his penis and ran into the front room, according to authorities. Quickly realizing that she was locked in, the victim said she turned around to find Patton approaching with a knife. She grabbed the knife, suffering cuts to both of her hands, and then grabbed a table and used it to barricade herself in a corner, according to the police. Patton armed himself with a second knife and allegedly attempted to stab the victim around the barricade. Hours later, Patton eventually unlocked the front door around 9 a.m. on September 8th and gave the victim her belongings so that she could leave the bedroom and allowed her to leave the house, the police said. The victim promptly called the police, who were unable to contact Patton at his residence. The SWAT team was called out, and Patton didn't respond for approximately 7 hours. About 10 minutes after the SWAT team fired a gas canister into his home, he came out and surrendered peacefully. Patton has been arrested and charged with second-degree rape, aggravated assault, sexual battery, and false imprisonment armed with a dangerous weapon. I just like to call this one, what the fuck? Woman cut off man's penis in self-defense after he tried to rape her. A young woman cut off this man's penis in self-defense after he allegedly tried to rape her inside of her home. An Indian student, 23, cut off a man's penis in self-defense after he allegedly tried to rape her at her house in the southern Kerala. The law student was at her residence in the state capital late Friday when she says the 54-year-old man attacked her. It was alleged that the man, Hari Swami, told her family that he was a religious guru and was routinely asked and allowed inside the home of the family by the parents. She used a knife in her defense, and she cut off his penis. District Police Chief G. Sparjan Kumar told AFP. The man, Hari Swami, was rushed to the nearby hospital in a serious state, he said. Local media reported say Swami was in stable condition after undergoing emergency medical procedures at the local hospital. The woman, who has not been identified, said the man had been sexually assaulting her for several years, according to Kumar. The chief added the police had registered a case against Swami for sexual offense against a minor and rape. Police said the girl's parents, who live in the same house, were unaware of the assault by Swami. The woman told us that her parents blindly trusted this Swami, and he used to get frequent invites to perform special ceremonies and stay over at their house where he assaulted her. The victim has been placed under police protection and is receiving trauma counseling at this time. Benoni kidnapped woman castrates attacker. A woman who was kidnapped and assaulted turned the tables on her attacker when she castrated the sick fuck and forced him to eat his own genitals. Kimberly Van Walt, 19, was walking home from her friend's house when she was approached by a man offering her a ride to where she was heading. Kimberly replied, "No thanks," and the man drove off. Kimberly continued walking home, but until she turned a corner, she saw the same man. He jumped out of the bushes and kidnapped her. The attacker is a 3-time convicted rapist. He took Kimberly back to his home where he tied her up and assaulted her for hours. He eventually passed out drunk, and Kimberly was able to untie herself. In a fit of rage, Kimberly then tied up the man and cut his penis and testicles off. He woke up screaming and yelling, and Kimberly proceeded to toss his parts in a microwave. She says, and I quote, "I threw that bastard's junk in the microwave, grabbed the plate, fork, and a steak knife, and cut it up like little hot dog bits. I grabbed a gun and had left it on the kitchen counter, walked over to him and forced him to eat it. I have no remorse and I am not sorry. That bastard deserved everything he got and he's going to hell. The rapist stated that he feared for his life, so he complied with Kimberly's request for him to eat his own dick and balls. He was arrested at the scene and transported to the hospital where he received medical treatment and was then transported to jail. Kimberly has not been charged with anything. Thanks so much for listening. That's all the time we have. See you later.
Hit to comment, like, and subscribe. And thanks again for watching.